After 15 years, the MMORPG Infinity Game is shutting down. The game's creator, Akira Oono, suddenly finds himself summoned into the game as his character, Demon Lord Hakuto Kunai. As he tries to grasp his situation, he encounters an injured girl, fleeing from a demon king Greole, which he easily defeats. The girl, Aku, explains they are in the kingdom of holy light, whose people worship the holy church, and the angel, cherub. As these are not parts of the original game, Kunai reasons that someone in the game must have tried to summon a real demon lord, but accidentally summoned him. Aku tells that she is an orphan cast out by cruel villagers as a sacrifice. At a nearby shrine, Kunai finds the mages who summoned him were already killed by Greole, and the shrine's idol cannot send Kunai home as this would contradict the wish that summoned him. Instead, it gives Kunai a magic ring before turning into dust. Kunai takes Aku back to her village, but upon seeing the villagers abusing her, Kunai's anger awakens the ring, which offers to kill the villagers. Instead, Kunai reveals himself as the demon lord, sets the village on fire as revenge, and makes Aku his partner as they head towards the capital. Luna Elegant, one of the three holy maidens, seeks out the rumored demon lord to defeat him. Oengol and his bandits, the moles, plan to ambush her and increase their reputation. Kunai plans to find another shrine idol, hoping a similar being to the one that summoned him could send him back home. The next morning, the moles lay in wait for Luna's envoy, but Kunai and Aku fall into the trap first. Kunai mistakes Oengol for his boss from the real world, causing them to have a confused conversation. This is interrupted by Luna, who forces the bandits to retreat while Kunai realizes he can be injured by Luna's magic. Irritated by her arrogant childish attitude, Kunai defeats her soldiers, then punishes her by spanking her repeatedly and stealing her money. Upon reaching the city, Kunai uses Luna's money to rent a room at an inn and buys Aku food and new clothes. Later, they go dining together, and overwhelmed by his kindness, Aku asks Kunai if there was any way she can repay him, but an embarrassed and furious Luna catches up to them to demand the return of her money, but is forced to calmly join them for dinner. When threatened with a second spanking, she later insists on sharing their room since it was paid for with her gold. Elsewhere, a second holy maiden approaches the city with her soldiers. Kunai asks Luna about Dekarub and learns it died after sealing away Greole, but the remaining two angels Ophan and Seraph are still alive. Luna's older sister, Holy Maiden Killer Queen, arrives in her war chariot with the intent to drag Luna home. Kunai comes up with a plan to make money by selling worthless crafted items to an antiques dealer. Luna and Queen bicker while an army of Satanists, believing they failed to summon the demon lord, plan to kill both holy maidens using a miasma sludge sealed in a box called Hades. Luna claims she tamed the demon lord, though Queen doubts that a demon lord exists. The cult then attacks, and Kunai realizes the cultists wear the same robes as the ones who summoned him, as the cultists unleash Hades to weaken Luna and Queen. Kunai's ring tempts him to murder the maidens, but Kunai refuses. The ring paralyzes him, forcing him to swap into another of his Infinity Game avatars, Zero Kirasame, at the cost of Zero controlling himself. Zero defeats the cultists and Queen instantly falls in love with him after he treats her like a woman instead of a warrior and decides to make him her husband. Zero leaves and turns back into Kunai, who is mortified at ever having created such an embarrassing character. Luna decides to continue traveling with Kunai and Aku while elsewhere. Two bounty hunters debate whether to accept a job hunting the demon lord, but decide on a bounty on killing sandwolves instead. While traveling aboard Luna's carriage, Kunai disguises Luna as a schoolgirl so she won't draw attention. The two bounty hunters, Swordwoman Maiken and cross-dressing mage Yukikes, are in the area hunting sandwolves for their bounty, but the pack is too large and they flee. Kunai, who happened to be nearby, defeats the wolves for skill points then leaves. Kunai notices Aku's leg has healed badly, causing her to limp. He uses his skill points to summon one of his subkids, Yukarino, doctor and scientist. Using her unique skill, Hand of God, Yu fixes Aku's leg in no time, but is scolded by Kunai when she asks Aku to dress like a boy. While testing her leg, Aku suggests she has fallen in love with Kunai because of his kindness. Kunai thanks Yu for her help, and his praise causes the now self-aware Yu to experience happiness and develop a crush on him. Later, as Aku sleeps, she gains a rare magical survival skill called Heroine. Due to defeating the Sandwolves so easily, Mikan and Yukikes are amazed by Kunai, though Mikan is irritated they lost the bounty. Meanwhile, Utopia, founder of the Satanist cult, after learning a demon lord killed Greole, decides to appease Hades by offering all the capital's citizens as sacrifice. Kunai and the others visit Luna's province, specifically Rabi village, which is extremely run down as Luna has been letting the Holy Church manage it for her. Kunai suspects the church deliberately gave her the least valuable territory to keep her out of the way. He decides to improve the village by adding a hospital and hot spring. He removes the useless church manager and learns the village is populated by demi-humans called bunnies, whom the church consider inferior. The bunnies are struggling to farm the poor quality soil, so Kunai uses skill points to provide an unlimited source of water and better fertilizer. Elsewhere, Luna's oldest sister, Holy Maiden Angel White, debates on the danger Kunai may pose. Dona Dona, the head noble, is determined to punish Kunai to please his fellow nobles, while the head soldier, martial arts, prefers to wait and see what kind of man Kunai is for himself. Killer Queen barges in, still hopelessly obsessed with Zero, leaving Angel worried about her sister's state of mind. At the Noma Noma Tavern, the S-rank adventurers Mink and Organ debate about the existence of a dragonkin fighting for justice before being given a poster of the Demon Lord, whilst Mikan and Yukikes overhear their talk. Meanwhile, Kunai, Luna, and Yu hold a feast for Aku at the high-class restaurant Artemaments, the kingdom's capital, to celebrate her leg being healed. They are joined by Ebafree Butterfly, a central figure of nobility in the kingdom who Luna explains through Kunai's telepathic messaging is a powerful social figure with many connections through the kingdom. Kunai decides to attempt to gain her trust, and as he negotiates with her and tells about his improvements to be done at Luna's Rabi village, the surrounding area comes under synchronized attacks by the Satanist cult. Kunai tells his party to remain calm and stay in the restaurant while he takes care of the trouble. Mikan and Yukikes are in the midst of the fighting, but Kunai comes to their aid and disposes the Satanists, who summon a mid-tier demon called Carnival. Kunai easily defeats Carnival and the populace cheers, recognizing him from posters as the Demon Lord. While the previous episode's fighting was happening, Kamiya, an assassin disguised as a clown calming down the nobles, approaches Kunai's party with the intent to poison them, but Yu scares him away with a magic trick that involves imputing's arms. In another part of the capital, Killer Queen, Mount Fuji, and martial arts clear out a horde of undead, and Mink defeats another group of Satanists while healing church members. The surviving cultists regroup and summon a demon Prince Oruit as their last resort, who lays waste to all the combatants and destroys Angel White's holy barrier. Tron is ordered by Utopia prior to the battle to fly in and dump the Hades miasma onto the combatants, and she does so while Mink and Queen try to hold their ground against Oruit. Kunai swaps to Zero Kirasame at the last minute and effortlessly defeats Oruit, but not before Oruit mortally wounds Tron and drains her blood to transform himself into a bestial entity. Zero revives Tron from death, and upon being told she forgot how to smile, encourages her to regardless of her circumstance. Zero defeats Oruit once more and strikes a victory pose, to the amazement of Tron and the bliss of Killer Queen.